Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Kamal Al-Khatib, and I will be your host at the Friends of All American Muslim show. In this show, at Al-Amin TV, we host individuals and public officials from all over United States, and especially from the state of California, who are friends of the Muslim community in their communities. And today, I am honored to have a good friend of the Muslim community in the city of Los Angeles. We have today Deputy Chief of Los Angeles Police Department, Mr. Michael Downing, who will be sharing his experience with us today about the Muslim community and will answer your questions live. So please call us at the television station 818-683-1866 to hear what the Chief is going to say and answer your question. Chief Downing, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kamal, very much. It's nice to be here.
Good to see you. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions today, and I hope you're ready for me.
I'll do my best.
You know, this is a new program at Al-Amin TV, and now you're becoming familiar with the show. Last time I met you at the Reseda grand opening mosque, and we had a very, very nice conversation with the Muslim community. I've been following your news before that, and I saw you are involved in the Muslim community. That's why you qualify to be a friend of the Muslim community. I know a lot of politicians, and I know a lot of people from all over, but you're one of those people I can say that you qualify as a friend of the Muslim community. So I'm very, very honored to have you on the show today. Thanks. And my first question for you today, Chief Downing, how long you have been with the LAPD, and can you tell us your briefing about your role in the department?
Sure.
Exactly what you do.
Well, last week I celebrated my 30-year anniversary with the Los Angeles Police Department, and I worked up through the ranks in patrol, detectives, emergency planning, internal affairs, and today, for the past 6 years rather, I've been the commanding officer of Counterterrorism and Special Operations Bureau for Los Angeles Police Department.
You know, can you tell us a background about how big is the department?
Sure.
How many employees, volunteers, what sections, where does it serve, what part of the Los Angeles County? Because I know there is pockets you're like enter with the Sheriff Department. Mm-hmm. So what is the boundaries of the LAPD?
Well, the city is 465 square miles, which is very large, very vast. It goes from the very northern part of the valley to the very southern part of the port, where the harbor is, out to the west side, where the ocean is, to East Los Angeles. We have about 4 million people in the city. We have 9,963 sworn officers in LAPD and probably 3,000 civilian. And then we have a big cadet program and a big volunteer program as well.
Okay, so you have a huge zone of area that you need to protect it, which sometimes kind of like in some unincorporated area where you have some area that you have LAPD jurisdiction and then LAPD.
Yes.
How do you differentiate that?
Well, inside the city, we have 4 million people. In the county, there are 10 million people. And so it's carved out very irregular. And so we just know the city by reporting districts.
Yeah, we have a video that we would like to show our audience about the department and about your role in that. And I hope it will be ready in a few seconds. But before we see the video, I know LAPD, similar to Sheriff Department, similar to all of the law enforcement agency, always looking for Muslim community to be part of these departments. There is job opportunity for Muslim youth to be involved with that. Can you tell us if there is any openings, or how does the process work, or if you are a person looking for to be an officer with the LAPD, how do you apply, where do you go, who do you call?
Yeah, well, we're interested in recruiting people from all parts of the community within Los Angeles. We have one of the most diverse populations in the world here in Los Angeles, so we outreach to many different segments. The Muslim communities are part of that community, and so we encourage people to come and join LAPD. We have reserve officers that are from the Muslim communities. We have volunteers from the Muslim communities. We have an LAPD chaplain. We have a reserve officer who I work with quite a bit, Omar Ritchie, who I think many of the Muslim communities know. And it's, you just call a recruiter, you call a number, which I think you have.
I think the
you
number,
start the application process.
yeah, the number I think is 1-866-444-LAPD. The number again is 1-866-444-LAPD. If you're interested in any job at the LAPD, and also if you're interested in any volunteering at the LAPD, you can call again 1-866-444-LAPD. And this way they can start the application process, because it does take a long time.
It takes a long time. There's a background investigation, there's a medical evaluation, there's a psychological exam. There are many, many facets to that, and I think it could take, you know, more than a year.
Yeah. I hope the video is ready. So let's watch together the video about the department and your role in that department.
Okay.
Let's watch together.
Los Angeles is home to immigrants from around the world.
I mean, we're one of the most diverse cities in the world. We have more languages spoken here than I think anywhere in the United States and possibly the world.
Deputy Chief Michael Downing heads the Counterterrorism and Special Operations Bureau of the Los Angeles Police Department. He says Los Angeles authorities have worked closely with federal agencies and members of the community for years.
The world has globalized, the threat has internationalized, that traditional crime has become transnational. People that live in our country now represent this whole globe.
Downing says sensitivity to how immigrants think and react to world events will help them feel less isolated and prevent extremist behavior. Omar Ritchie of the Muslim Public Affairs Council agrees building trust through relationships is key.
It develops a partnership where Muslims are not treated as suspects but are treated as resources in combating the more global problem of terrorism.
I think that'll be good.
Community outreach is the job of Chan Sayed, a police officer of Pakistani descent who was born in Saudi Arabia and raised in the United States.
My religion and my ethnicity has assisted because I have an understanding and I can talk on a level that other police officers might not be able to.
Downing says minority outreach programs are not common among U.S. law enforcement agencies because they do not have the resources or training. American Civil Liberties Union attorney Peter Bibrink says without proper training, there is a danger of ethnic profiling.
We just need to make sure that whoever is doing that policing focuses on activity that's actually where there gives rise to a suspicion of criminal activity or suspicion of terrorist activity, instead of focusing broadly on protected constitutional conduct like photography or on particular racial or religious groups.
If we profile it as it relates to terrorism, we're profiling behavior only. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what God you worship.
Downing says Los Angeles police are working with federal officials to develop effective training for law enforcement across the country. The White House plan also wants groups such as schools that do not normally deal with such issues to be involved with countering violent extremism. But Officer Sayed says accomplishing that is complicated.
Funding is a big thing. Education, we could definitely, my unit could use more officers. We'd love to do more outreach and engagement with different communities, but we are limited by budget.
Sayed says he hopes the White House will provide the money to carry out its plan to fight extremist threats in the United States. Elizabeth Lee for VOA News, Los Angeles.
That was a very interesting video, and I think the White House and all the levels of government, they should have the budget, especially for law enforcement, as top priority, and I hope they make more resources and funding available so we can fund these programs and reach out and make more available for the people. I want to switch a question to go back to September 11. 10 years ago plus, you know, September 11 happened, and first thing, you know, we know that the Muslim community become the focus of all of the attention, and a lot of hate crimes happen, a lot of things happen against Muslims because, you know, some people, they think the Muslim Americans are responsible for what happened, which is not the case. What did the department do to reach out to the Muslim community, to meet their needs, to protect them? Because I remember in several areas, several counties, several levels of the branch of government, they made resolution. They did extra precaution to protect the places. What did the LAPD do at that time?
Well, first I'll tell you that before 9/11, the Muslim communities were invisible to us. I mean, they really weren't integrated into our community police advisory boards, chambers of commerce, neighborhood watch. We didn't have a relationship with the Muslim community. So immediately we reached out. We started to attend meetings, town halls, school events, festivals, and trying to build a relationship so we could build a sense of trust. In policing in democratic societies, the real policing comes from the communities themselves, and the police offer that support. But we need problem-solving efforts to work with communities so that we could teach communities how to use their government, how to remove graffiti, how to trim hedges, how to improve street lighting, those kinds of things. And so we really engaged in the community to try to learn what pressures were on the community and how we can better serve those communities.
Do you remember or do you recall anything in particular that during this trying time that happens with any mosque or any that was
well, I know that,
you know, still stuck in your mind?
Yeah, well, I know that something that hurt me personally was when I heard kids that went to school were being called names and teased about being Muslim and being terrorist, and that hurt me the most, because I think a hate crime or a hate incident is probably the lowest thing one human can do to another human being, and so that had to stop. And if it ever does occur, and I communicate this to our communities all the time, that we will create a hate crime or hate incident extremely seriously through training, through prosecution, whatever the solution is.
Thank you. Chief Downing, from reviewing your background, learning about yourself, I know you're a man of interfaith. You interfaith with all the communities, whether Muslims, Jews, Christians, different ethnicity, Hispanic, Filipino, everywhere. You have been honored or participated in the Interfaith Festival, and I just want you to give us a little bit about that festival. Tell us what did you do and what did you accomplish in that festival, and then after that we're going to see a video in your participation there.
Okay. Well, I think the message there is that the strength of our community is the diversity of our community, and that the one thing that we have in common with one another is that we're human. And we want to be able to live in an area where we can raise our kids, where they can go to school, where we can take walks at night, where they can play in the park without fear. And I think the strength of interfaith is it doesn't matter if you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, etc. This is a place where everybody can live and prosper and have equal opportunity to progress in their life. And I think that's the strength of interfaith, is we don't need to be siloed or balkanized or separated from one another. We can respect our traditions, respect our cultures, but more and more we need to find ways to integrate. I didn't say assimilate, but integrate so that we can share in the richness of each other's diversity.
And I like that festival because, major leaders in the community like Sheriff Libaka, the mayor, the chief, everybody was participating in that festival, and I hope the video is ready to play so we can see that. So let's watch together that festival, of Interfaith Festival that you participated in.
The founder of the Chief of Police Muslim Forum. I would like to invite Chief Downing, who is the first speaker to this.
say Eid Mubarak, but since I won't see you, Eid Mubarak as well. Rather than give prepared remarks tonight, I would like to tell a little bit of a story, a quick story. And I know my time is getting in the way if you're breaking the fast, so I will be quick about it. I came in as Salam and the others were talking about Sharia, threat to America, and it's interesting how this dialogue has changed over the last 5 years. We come to interfaith all the time, and now it's evolved into this other discussion. And this has been one of my greatest challenges and fights this year, is this idea of the two sides of extremism. The side of fanaticism and those that want to do violence on innocent people, and the other side of the equation that want to instill fear in the hearts of all Americans because they don't tell the truth. And we've been dealing with this group, and I've been the victim where they've cut and pasted little inserts of video and posted it on YouTube, and it was a complete lie. And in July, we had the Chiefs Muslim Forum here at the Iman Center. And this team of people who are the other side of extremism came into the sanctuary. And Dr. Namazi Khan, the leaders here, saw what was happening, and they talked to Chief Beck and myself, and they said, what should we do? And we said, well, we should probably just allow them to be here, allow them to stay here, and really get exposed to what the truth is. And this individual who had piles of this book, Sharia, A Threat to America, came in and took the mic and started asking questions and making accusations. And I was so proud of the congregation here and the youth, because they took the mic and they really set him up free. And I asked the question to the people that were in the room. There were probably 150 people here. And I said, how many of you believe that the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land and is the rule of law in this country? And 100% of the people raised their hands. Totally disarmed this individual, completely disarmed him. And this book that he distributed to people is just full of lies. Our country stands on the principles of tolerance, equality, and religious freedom. And we look toward this vision of justice, truth, and peace. And to have peace, you need justice. But to have justice, you need truth. And in this era of the half-read page and the internet that puts out all this information, if it sounds good and it looks sexy, people must accept it. But as Dr. Namazi Khan and all the people here on that day, they told the truth. And that is just so important. The White House put out a position paper maybe 4 weeks ago on the issue of outreach, engagement, and dialogue. And this is a perfect example of what that dialogue is here today. And it was interesting because the LA Times criticized that position paper. And I wrote a response to that, saying that this outreach, engagement, and dialogue was never meant to be an inoculation against extremism, but rather a prescription to build strong, resilient, knowledgeable, intelligent communities. And the whole essence of policing is...
I want to remind our audience that they can call us at 818-683-1866 to ask any question for Chief Downing. They can call us in Arabic and they can call us in English, and we will answer you. And we're trying to translate it. It looks like we have some calls. Chief Downing, I'm going to go switch a little bit to a different area of concern. You know, in the last few years, we have seen the bigots from all over the United States at different levels, from the lowest level to small churches in Florida to the highest level in Congress. And I just want to hear your opinion. What do you tell these people? And then we're going to take some calls after that. It looks like we got a couple of calls on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really feeds off of ignorance and fear. And when you work with communities and you understand the intentions of communities, you're not so fearful and you're not ignorant because you have knowledge about the way forward. And in this case, the Muslim communities that I work with believe that the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land. The people that are creating a hate campaign in America against American Muslims believe that there's an effort to instill Sharia law in the United States. And that's crazy. I think that the Constitution is our greatest shield in protecting the values of our country, yet our greatest strength that we have is in the people. And not to isolate people, not to balkanize people, but to listen to people and integrate their ideas into what we're doing. That's the greatest strength.
Well, I think we have a call on line 2. Caller, assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Saudi. I'm Muslim and I'd like to talk to Sheikh Downey, please.
Okay, what's your name, brother?
My name is Sabri Mahmoud.
And where are you calling from? What city?
I'm calling from Los Angeles, sir.
Los Angeles. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is for the chief. How can we do volunteer work with the LAPD? I know we are short-handed everywhere, and the budget, as you talk about, it's really little bit out of hand. How can we do that to do volunteer work? And my second question: what is the criteria which is for the LAPD profile a person to see if he is a Muslim or some other background, or what is the criteria for that, and how can we avoid the profile in Los Angeles?
Sure.
I'll take my answer up there.
Yep. Thank you for your question. First, we love volunteers. We ask for volunteers all the time. And in Los Angeles, we have 21 area stations, and they all have community groups. And we would ask you to contact the station that's where you live in your area and tell them that you're interested in volunteering, and tell them that you're interested in participating in Neighborhood Watch, Chambers of Commerce, Community Police Advisory Boards,
And you can
neighborhood
give them the phone
councils,
number,
etc.
Chief?
Well, no, that's the recruiting phone
Recruiting?
number. No. You can go on the website, lapdonline.org, and find your station and get the information for that. The second question that you raised, thank you for raising that. We do not profile people. We do not profile people. It doesn't matter which God you worship, what race you are, whether you're male or female, or your sexual orientation. It has nothing to do with that. We do profile criminal behavior, and we profile behavior that has a nexus to crime or terrorism. And so that's very important. It doesn't matter if you're African American, white, Hispanic, Muslim, Christian, or Jewish. That has no bearing on why somebody would be interested in talking to you, detain you, etc. It all has to do with the behavior that you're involved in. Did that answer your question?
I think the caller is already gone, but we have, as I told you, that the lines are open. You can call us at 818-683-1866. You can speak to us in Arabic or English, and we'll answer you. I'm going to switch to some other subjects. You have also been involved in the Bangladesh community. You created a partnership council, Little Bangladesh LAPD Partnership Council. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden we discovered that a Bangladeshi community of over 20,000 people popped up in the middle of Koreatown, and they seemed to be a little bit isolated. And so we knew that we had to create a relationship with this community, both from the local precinct as well as my bureau. People are out there trying to make a living, raise their kids, send them to school, etc., and they just need to know how to use our services and how to use city government services. So they created I believe it's called Little Bangladeshi Village, correct?
Little Bangladesh.
Yeah, Little Bangladesh. So we attend their parades every year. We have town halls with this community. If they have a problem, they'll come to us and we'll try to solve it for them.
Okay, and actually, we do have a video also, your participation in that. You know, I am a video man. I like to participate, to document everything that, we're not just saying that. There is evidence that you have been there, done that, and I like to show the video. If it's ready, let's play it.
Invitation to come and speak with you about the Bangladeshi community and learning more about the community, about the history, about the challenges, about how we can help and support you, solve problems, build partnerships, build trust, so that the community knows that we can be counted on as trusted friends. And that's one of our purposes, is to better understand the community. And this is a wonderful place that you've invited us to. We understand this is a social gathering for the Bangladeshi community, and the tea is very good. Enjoy that very much, and we look forward to a long and enduring relationship with you.
I take this the opportunity really to thank Mohammed for, number one, blowing up my cell phone and calling me pretty much every day to form this relationship and really taking the lead. We got a good connection, and he's really wanted to just kind of outreach to us, and I appreciate that, Mohammed. And I want to, like Chief Downey said, I want to continue this relationship, but I want to build it, and I want to go from just having tea here to forming a partnership. That's my personal goal, Mohammed, and is to form a partnership. Let's go beyond this tea here, and let's do some great things together as a partner.
Sean Said, I'm a police officer with the Los Angeles Police Department. I've been with the department for nearly 4 years now. And up until recently, I was working North Hollywood Patrol as a regular police officer, handling 911 calls and such. And just recently, the chief and his unit, we have a liaison unit, which we do outreach to different communities we've got. And so, me being a Muslim, I think it was a very beneficial relationship we have here, so that there are things that law enforcement doesn't know about the Muslim community, and there's things that the Muslim community is completely unaware of about law enforcement. And it makes perfect sense to have someone like me who's kind of I've got my feet in both doors, so I like to bridge that gap. Any miscommunication, any trust problems, anything that's going on, I'd like to help out the best I can, open, transparent, and I think only if we are open and transparent from the law enforcement side, and even in the Bangladeshi, Pakistani, South Asian, Indian community, Muslim community, if we focus on our similarities, which is that we're all Muslims, we're all here, many of us are immigrants, I'm an immigrant myself, we focus on things like that, we can really work with the politics in the city and achieve our mutual goals. And I think people focus too much on the dissimilarity or things that aren't the same. And once we start focusing on what we have in common, I think this will be a very fruitful relationship. So we're very happy to be here, and inshallah we'll be able to accomplish our goals here in the next few years.
How would you describe the role of the woman in the community? In terms of leadership in the family, leadership in the community, spokesperson for the community, because it's very different. Like in the Pakistani community, sometimes the woman stays in the house behind the door and is really not out front, dealing with some of the issues. How would you describe that?
I would rather say that we're like a blend of India and Pakistan. We really do take role in our family life and.
Okay, very interesting. It looks like we got some calls. We're going to take a call. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, hello. My name is Catherine. I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
Welcome to the show, Catherine.
Thank you.
What's your question for the chief?
My question, first of all, I'd like to thank him for his support and recognizing the community but I'm just wondering what the Los Angeles Police Department is doing for our children and the future in combating violent extremism.
Yeah, that's a good question, Catherine. I think the youth.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah, I think the youth is just so integral to how the city's going to be and how people are integrated in the future. And so the youth programs that we have our cadet program that we were involved in a lot in. We're trying to get a cricket league started for the youth because it's very engaging, especially in the Muslim communities. And then I think mothers and women are very important in these communities because they're the ones that raise the kids. So the more we can lift up and place women in leadership positions and listen to what their concerns are and respond to those concerns are better. But youth is key. They're the future. Thank you.
Okay, it looks like we have another call on line 2. It looks like nobody is there. Okay. Looks like we have some technical difficulties with the phone. I hope that's caller. Assalamu alaikum. This is a friend of All American. What's your name? Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
What's your name or where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Iman and I'm calling from California.
Which part of California, Iman?
Los Angeles.
Okay, do you have a question for the chief?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have any programs for youth, like for people that are young or kids?
We do.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. We do have a lot. We do have a lot of programs for youth. We have our cadet program where you can be a cadet in any of our 21 precincts that we have throughout the city. And then we have the PALS, we have the Police Athletic League, Police Activities League in the stations where you can participate in sports and karate and literacy and all those kinds of things. And the police officers, they're full-time police officers that do nothing but reach out to kids and youth and get them involved in either the cadet program or the Police Activities League. And it's a great organization, and it really builds character and relationships between youth and civic-minded people and the police.
You know, you jumped ahead before I was going to ask the next question actually about the Reach Out program. LAPD has a program called LAPD Engagement Program, and this program is basically reaching out to the communities. Can you tell us about it?
Sure. Well, we have I have 5 full-time officers reflecting the community. We have a Saudi Arabian-born Pakistani, an Egyptian-born Arabic speaker. We had a Iranian-born Farsi speaker, and we have African-American and male white. And they go out and reach out to communities to establish relationships, to build trust, to try to help them solve problems, teach them how to solve problems, and kind of be on call if anything happens that they need to respond to. And so this is their full-time job. And they are
When did you
busy all the
establish this
time.
department?
Oh, this has been going on for probably 4 years. It works directly for me in my bureau.
Wow. And this is similar to the Sheriff Department outreach?
We work with the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's has a very good outreach program, and we work together many times. Mike Ebdeen and Sharif Morsi are really the drivers behind that, and they work with our officers.
You know, I love the relationship between, the Sheriff Department, the LAPD Department with our Muslim community. You see them everywhere. You see them in a grand opening. You see them in Muslim family days. You see them in banquets, fundraisers, reach out programs, and health fairs. And this is what they're supposed to be working together as partners.
Yeah, well, there was a time where the Muslim communities felt very oppressed and discontent. And they felt like, at least as they communicated to me, that they weren't part of society. And so we had to turn that around and make sure that they did feel opportunities to participate. And I think in the last couple of years, a lot of that has been done. They feel that. There are still isolated people. There are still people that have grievances. that are not happy, and we have to find ways to reach out to those people.
You know, I want to tell you, I admire LAPD because of their actions that they take. I know several times they had problems. They didn't brush it under the carpet. They tried to initiate some programs that they felt that it was not good for the community, like the LAPD and like the mapping program.
The mapping, yeah.
You know, the department felt that it needed to start a mapping program, and then they start talking about mapping all Muslim community in the area. And then there was meetings with the Muslim community, there was some outcry, and then the department changed gear and changed. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I mean, I was involved in the mapping initiative, and the mapping initiative was a community policing initiative, not a counterterrorism initiative. It's a very important difference. It was so that we could find communities that were underserved, underrepresented, and that we could infuse social services and governmental resources into those communities. The problem was we didn't have the trust in the community, and they didn't believe that it was a viable program. So we went back to grassroots outreach.
Looks like we got another phone call, so let's take another question. They hang up. Please make sure that you, you know, it looks like we seem like we have a technical problem, and I hope our director will fix it right away, because we lost a few calls, and I really don't mean to hang up on you. I would love to hear from everybody. You still can call us at 818-683-1866. I would like to answer every call, but sometimes it's not in my hand. It's, we're dealing with non-human apparatus here. I want to talk to you about NYPD versus LAPD. NYPD, New York Police Department, have a program of surveillance program about Muslims. They have surveyed all of New York City, Muslim businesses, people living in the area, and they're tapping their phones. They're, you know, and the people there, they're not happy. And what do you tell the New York Police Department about that?
Well, I don't tell the New York Police Department anything. I won't.
What do you advise them?
I won't criticize the New York Police Department, and I won't advise the New York Police Department.
Okay.
I have friends in the New York Police Department.
What do you say about the program?
But our approach is a little bit different, right? We deal with two sides. There are times when we have to surveil people if there's criminal predicate, where we have to arrest people if there's criminal predicate.
It looks like we got another call.
You want me to answer your question?
Yes.
Or you want me to go through?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're going to go come back to the question, but let's take the call so we don't ignore them. These guys are not waiting for I am sorry. But go ahead, continue.
I think it's ringing.
Salam alaikum. What's your name? Hello, salam alaikum. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello, salam alaikum. What's your name?
Hello,
Where you
can
come
you
from?
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name? Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Can you turn down the TV, please?
Hello.
Can you turn down the TV so you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Buffalo, New York.
Okay. Do you have a question for the chief?
Hello?
Do you have a question for the chief?
No, I have a question. I need to ask a question about the ladies, if it's haram to go in Salat al-Jum'ah or no.
This is a different program, sister. Can you? I'm gonna put you on hold, and I'm gonna have somebody answer the phone. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. 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 So let's continue about New York policy.
No, not New York, about LA,
New York,
about what we do in LA.
Yeah, what do we do in Los
So
Angeles?
in LA, we also deal with the motivational aspects of how people feel about living here, and that's our outreach engagement program. So people don't get surveilled unless there's a criminal predicate, unless they're involved in pre-operational surveillance that has a nexus to terrorism, or if there's with criminal activity. There has to be a criminal predicate for
Behavior.
Behavior.
It's not how you look. It
has nothing to do with that.
The action
No.
that you take and could create a
That's
suspicious doubt in the law enforcement, and that's why you have to basically act upon. And I hope this next call will be answering for us. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? Assalamu alaikum. Where are you calling from?
Walaikum salam. I'm calling from LA.
What's your name?
Actually, one question. That, I mean, how can we...
What's your name, brother?
My name is Majdi.
Majdi. What's your question for the chief?
How can we help as a community? How can we help the police department? What kind of things that we can do to bridge the differences, and to have the understanding, and to have I mean, how to be good citizens to really to help the police department, because they have a huge task on their shoulders, and I think we all together have to work to help.
Okay. Yeah, I think we got the message. How can we help? We're going to take the second question, then we're going to answer the two questions together. Okay. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I don't know what's wrong with the phones today. It seems like the phone system is not helping us too much today, but we're going to continue with our questioning. We already talked about the mapping program. It started with the department, and you felt that the community was not interested in that. You listened to them, and the program was pretty much canceled.
Well, we listened to the concern about it, and we decided that we had to go back and get involved in grassroots outreach, which we did. And we've been involved in that now for about 4 years, and it's been successful. Mm-hmm. And we've created a good partnership. We've built trust. We've taught communities how to solve problems, and I think we're getting some traction here now.
Yes. There is another program that the department has. Is called SAR, mm-hmm. Suspicious Activity Reporting Program. Yes. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that program?
Yes, just as we report crime, gang activity in areas, narcotics activities in areas, organized crime, there was really no method to report suspicious activity that had a nexus to terrorism. So we developed the SAR initiative, the Suspicious Activity Reporting Initiative. And the definition of that is reasonably indicative of pre-operational surveillance with a nexus to terrorism or other criminal activity. So it has nothing to do with people, as you see. It has everything to do with behavior and the activity that they're involved in. And so we developed that. It became a national program. It is national. People report it to us every day, either through a police officer, or they can call 1-877-A-THREAT, or they can go on to iwatchla.org and report the activity. If it's not suspicious with a nexus to terrorism or criminal activity, we have the opportunity to educate people in terms of profiling, that type of thing.
Yeah. You know that most of the departments and everywhere, you cooperate with the cities, the school districts, everywhere. Do you rely too much on these organizations to help you out in implementing these programs, or how do you implement it?
We use organizations, we use schools, we use the community policing infrastructure that we have in the city already, and we also address special interest groups.
Okay, we're going to answer the question that one of the brothers answered. How can we help the community? Do you want to?
I mean, I really think the communities need to step up and get more civically engaged, lead beyond the walls of their own business or their own house, and find ways to volunteer, find ways to participate, look at the pressures that are being put on society in our city, and get involved. And don't just offer problems, but offer solutions to those problems, and we can work on the solutions together.
So basically, they can watch the local newspaper, they can watch whatever you put on the TV. If there's any programs, they have people interested in volunteering, they can call and join. The local mosque, they can call in the department and say, what can we do to help? They can engage that in their youth program. They can implement it in their schools, because there's some Muslim Islamic schools in the area. They can do all of that, and that create some kind of a partnership that goes beyond just, oh, I have a problem. We have solutions here. Looks like we have another call. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Atif, and I'm calling from Los Angeles.
Yes, Brother Atif. Do you have a question for the chief?
I have a question and a comment. I would like to, first of all, commend the chief on the work that the LAPD has done to build a bridge between the Muslim community and the Department of Police and other law enforcement agencies. And I think it was long overdue, and I'm very happy for the hard work that the police department and law enforcement agency put in to build this bridge. And on the other hand, my concern is, for example, the recent shooting of the Afghan youth a couple of weeks ago. All that hard work kind of, goes in vain if the department and law enforcement agencies don't take the necessary care and steps to keep that bridge strong. And so my comment really to the chief is that, keep up the good work, but also on the other hand, be very sensitive to the requirements of our community, because as just naturally it occurs to everyone that a lot of the wars that we as Americans are fighting all over the world, some of them happen to be in Muslim countries, and a lot of Muslim communities are sensitive to that. And because on one hand they have to choose between their nation, on the other hand they have to choose between their religion. So just keep all of this in perspective. The police department and law enforcement agencies need to be just a little bit careful that when they're dealing with a situation that involves the Muslim community, take an extra second or two, take a couple of more minutes to decide what to do, so that the implications and the results of that are not overbearing on this relationship.
Thank you, Brother Atif. That's a very good question. Inshallah, we'll take care of it. Before I have the chief answer, I just want to offer our condolences for the family of Abdul, Aryan, and our deepest sorrows and sympathy to the family. And I hope and I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that investigation will reveal exactly what happened, and truth and I'm sure that the department cannot really give too much information about it, because they are in the middle of the investigation. There is a possible legal action that could happen. So I know that the chief will love to talk about it in details, but he cannot talk about it in details. But if I will give him the opportunity to say a few words if you want to say that. But I want to tell you that I have a full faith and a trust that the department will take care of the action. They will serve those officers. They will, if they were found, guilty, they will be taken care of, and I'm sure that justice will be served.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your comment and your question. It was a tragedy, and we are very sorry to the community and to the family for this tragedy. All the hard work that has been done over the many years in building trust and relationships with this community shouldn't go in vain. We have a crisis right now, and we're working through the crisis, and the communities need to trust in the system. And the system is very transparent. I personally, with some other command officers, met Sunday at the Reseda Mosque with community members, imam, family member, to talk about this and understand that it's transparent. There's 3 levels of review. The district attorney's office will be reviewing this, the inspector general, which is an arm of the Police Commission, which is appointed by the mayor, will be reviewing this, and there's an internal investigation as well. So I think communities just need to be open with us, be communicative, continue to have dialogue. If you have questions, ask those questions. We can't get into the weeds and the nuts and bolts of this investigation because it's very fresh and it's very raw, and it's going to take a long time to do that. But in evaluating this use of force, they will evaluate the tactics, the drawing of the weapon, and the actual use of force. Each bullet will be evaluated whether or not it was justified or not justified.
You know, I want to give an advice to our community. A friendship, you know, goes way beyond one incident. You know, you don't dump your friend or you change a relationship because of one incident. You look at the history. You look at everything what happened in the past. You know, if you are my friend for a long time and you made one mistake with me, it's not fair that you not become my friend because of that incident. So my advice to the community: be patient, have faith, and have a trust in the system, and they will take care of it, because these are our friends for many, many years, and we need to keep our relationship. I am going to move to another question that about you've been honored by several organizations in our community, by Muslim Public Affairs, by Pakistani Council, and you have received these honors and awards, and I'd like you to just comments about it, or let's see the video and then we'll make comments about it.
Los Angeles Police Department, thank you, Chief, for coming and receiving an award on behalf from the community in response to all your outreach. We know that you work very hard to reach out to all the citizens in LA County, and so we welcome you, and we'd like to get some of your thoughts on the importance of reaching out to the community.
Well, we can't do our job without the support of the community, and so the whole essence of policing is to do it not only with the support of the community, but with the community themselves, and to have community members believe that it's their responsibility to police their community with the support of us. And it's been to our great benefit to learn and become friends with the Pakistani community. We've become richer for it. We've had great experiences, great food, great fashion, great music, and great friendships. And I think this is the way to go. And it not only enriches the police department, but it enriches the community itself. So Samir and Jim and Chand have been a big part of that outreach. This is what they do full time, and they understand the importance of it, and will continue to do that as well. I think we're a stronger and better country, and stronger and greater region because of it.
Oh, excellent. And aside of you, being a law enforcement officer, I see we have a young lady here next to you. And
yeah, this is Mallory. This is my daughter headed to college next year. You want us to say hi, Mal?
Your dad is receiving an award today in the community for his really public service. As you know, law enforcement, when your father puts a badge on, he may not return. That's just the nature of law enforcement. So he's put his life on the line with all these officers to protect and serve the community. So just what are your thoughts on, your father receiving this award? I know we're putting you on the spot, but, this is...
I know that my friends and family and everybody I know are so proud of him, whatever he does.
Okay, very good.
And she actually knows, one of the great lessons that we've tried to teach all our friends and all our kids, and that goes for Jim as well, is the importance of service, and to do it with a service-oriented heart toward people. And so that's a value that she will bring to her university next year as well.
Oh, excellent. What school?
Regis University in Colorado.
Oh, okay. Colorado and the Rockies. So, Mr. Chand, Officer Chand, you're next to the chief, and, We don't want you to take the chief spot, but hopefully in 15, 20 years, we'd like to see you also develop as a leader.
Thank you.
You know, and what is one of the characteristics you see in the chief that you think all officers should really espouse to have?
You have to be knowledgeable. You have to know what you're doing. And a lot of people promote through the ranks that might not understand the job or the function. And I'm very lucky to work with someone who understands counterterrorism, who understands community outreach. And I think if we can instill that more with the other officers that we have and the rank and file and through the command structure of knowing what you're talking about, being well-read, as the chief is, he knows just about everything that's going on with counterterrorism nationally, internationally, and here locally. So I think I try to keep up to date as much as he keeps up to date so that when I'm briefing him, I know what I'm talking about because he's already knows just about everything there's out there in the field. So I think knowledge is key, and we got to make sure.
Okay. You know, this show is going so fast. I mean, 1 hour, you know, you think it's going to be too long, but it's really been almost like 5 minutes. And we have not covered everything what we need to cover. I want to talk to you a little bit about your visit to the Middle East. You've been in several countries. You went to Turkey, Abu Dhabi, Egypt, Israel, Jordan. You know, give us some, you know, feedback of what's your experience with these countries. I want to ask you about something funny that happened with you during these visits.
Okay. I mean, I think it's important to understand what pressures are on the other side of the world. I think that one of the criticisms we have about Americans is their optic of the world is this 2,200 miles between the West Coast and the East Coast. Yeah. And yet when you flip the world around, it's 9,000 miles from the West Coast to the East Coast. And a lot of what's happening on that side of the world impacts us on this side of the world. Absolutely. And so I think that knowledge and understanding on the part of Americans and public service, police officers, to have an appreciation and an orientation for that is really important. The world has globalized, this threat has internationalized, and people have families in these parts of the country, or parts of the world that are impacted here, you know, all the time.
Tell us about the culture. What did you learn about the culture, the food?
I happen to like the food. I mean, I really enjoy.
Especially the hummus.
I enjoy the flavor of the hummus and well, we call it the tabbouleh, but you call it something else. And the lamb and the kebabs.
Are you a hummus expert?
No, but I like hummus. I like hummus. But it's very good. No, I do enjoy it. I enjoy seeing the fashion, the people, conversing on ideas, and when you get down to the end of it, what we have in common is that we're human, and that we want the same things for our kids.
How about the hospitality that you receive during those visits?
The carpet has always been rolled out for us. We have seen some amazing things in Saudi Arabia, in Israel, in Jordan, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, India. We have seen some amazing things. We've been on, you know, desert safaris in Abu Dhabi. We've eaten on
hunting.
We've seen the falcon hunt. Mm-hmm. We've eaten on big sand dunes in Saudi Arabia over the empty quarter. I mean, it's just been amazing.
Well, how about some visits to the downtown when they haggle with you and negotiate?
The bazaars and that food. Yeah, that's fun too. We do enjoy that. We always come back with some trinkets.
Have you been in Egypt?
I've been in and out of Egypt. I haven't stayed a long time, but I would like to spend some time there.
Well, me too. I hope this program kind of shed some light to the community about LAPD, about what you do. Do you think you accomplished what you tried to accomplish today from this show, or what do you tell our Muslim community?
I hope so. I mean, you know, I'm a human being who cares deeply for the city and cares deeply for people, and we serve people, and we try to serve people with a servant's heart. And so I hope that people can see the compassion, the concern, and also my request for people to get involved and not just sit by and let and let the world go by, but get involved, get civically engaged, and find out what you can do to contribute to make the community and society even better.
I know that the police department, LAPD, does a lot of messages to the community. They send it what do you call it, PSAs, public
Service announcements.
Public service announcements. I want to tell you that Al Amin TV welcomes any of your PSAs. We'd love to help you in reaching out to the community. Anytime you have some things you want to advertise or it's free, we won't charge you. Okay. We would love to be a part of the community, and our audience are very, very diverse. This TV, just log in right now to the web. This site is over 51,000 people on the internet alone, without the TV, without satellite, without international, without Canada, without, just internet only, over 51,000. So we'd like to help you with that. So please feel free that this is your TV, this is LAPD partner, and we always like to be part of the community. This is a monthly show, and we're hoping to have in the next show the U.S. Attorney General for Central California. I've been trying to schedule him, but his schedule is so busy, and he was going to come to your office. His secretary was trying to come to your office to meet with us. Hopefully we'll have him in our show next time, but we have more people coming, and people like you that are considered friends of all American Muslim. We cherish and honor your friendship, and we're very, very happy to have you on the show. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Kamal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, thank you for watching our program tonight. I hope we see you next month with a different guest, and may Allah bless you and bless all the Muslim community and all over the world. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.